Hi everyone, N.A.T here, and finally I am starting to make a video today. You know, this video I'm doing, the first 14 videos I am preparing for this channel, I'm actually preparing them ahead of time before uploading them because I just wanted to have a little bit of um, I've never done long form content before, and so I just want to see if there's anything like, just want to get a little bit of experience before to face those problems. I like, for example, I recorded a video before, and I had like a thing on my face which I didn't notice, and the whole video, 30 minutes of video, I had to redo it. So yeah, and also, man, the procrastination. When you're starting a new thing, usually that's that's what I found, what I discovered, because I have been like studying neurology a lot in order to not procrastinate. And when you start a new thing, usually is where you procrastinate the most, if you're me, because it's a new thing, and the brain would rather do anything else rather than having to learn stuff from scratch, which in this case for me is recording videos and not doing errors because I need to manage a lot of things at the same time: volume, levels of stuff, muting music when I need to mute it, and so on. So finally starting, if you're a procrastinator like me, I understand. I can relate a lot, but I I don't give up. I'm always like, yeah, I procrastinated. That's fine. Let's go back now to let's just start. Sometimes it's just a matter of starting. And today, I wanted to start from the what I think is the most difficult thing that I wanted to do here on this channel, which is to work on my music while recording it on video. Who knows? Maybe it won't be as difficult as I thought it would, but let's try this experiment. Um, Actually, I do this all the time, like new songs ideas. Okay, and so, but this time I'm just going to document it, share it with you, and maybe if I'm lucky, first idea would be a good one, a good one to listen back to, and maybe to continue. Or if we're not lucky, I'll do another one. So let's just go ahead. And also, I'm checking here the duration of the video. I don't want to make it too long. So let's see what I can do as quickly as possible. So I like to start from, let me just share what I do with you, and I'm just sharing it. I'm not teaching anything to anyone. I just did this channel, opened it, like I started making videos on this channel, just for the sake of sharing what I do. So I never shared like the beginning of a track, but let's do it. So I usually like to start from either sound designing a synth sound, or from drums. Sometimes it's just fun to start from drums, and I do that a lot. As you know, I like to create my own drums by myself, but I don't always start from scratch. Sometimes I just use the samples I created, and let's do that. So let's go on drums here. They are labeled, as you can see, with letters, so they appear in the order I like them to appear with, if that's the correct grammar in English. Grammar. So let's start from kicks, because kicks are fun. Let's go. So let's audition some of those kicks. And let me actually, maybe I should turn my thing here, set it louder so you can hear those samples better. Even though they're all limited, normalized to 0 dB, so they won't be, they will be actually kind of loud. So let me put this down again. Okay, because during recording here in OBS, I'm actually using a limiter on my new song idea I'm doing here, because while I'm working on it, it's unmastered, which means that it's low in volume. Anyways, let's just begin. Let's just audition to these kicks. I like these ones today. This is one of the most recent one I did, as well as these. They have kind of a cool envelope of the sine wave. But today I feel like using these ones, at least for the transient. So let me... By the way, I am not like other producers who just go like this one. Okay, now I'm like, I like to hear the details in the sound. And also, as you can see, these are actually kind of the same kick I created, just with different very slight variations. So I'm not sure, but let's begin with this one. So as you can see, I already have my template here with my drum rack with the sidechain trigger already prepared. So let's just, and I like to start in session view. So let's just draw this quick pattern. Okay, and let me switch the tail of the kick with something. Let me try these new kicks. Or let me audition again to all of them. You see, I'm going back to these ones. Let's just drop this here. Okay, and I thought let's set up a stopwatch so I can see how long this video is becoming. So the way I like to do this now to have this become transient in this detail is just to, first I'd like to just try this to shorten it. Okay, and to use like a fade out of, let's see, let's use this, and let's see kind of how long this is in terms of milliseconds. It seems to be around 10 milliseconds, so let's keep it at 10 milliseconds, something like that. Okay, and let's use a fade in here of 10 milliseconds, and let's see how that sounds together. Kind of cool, actually. Let me audition this without that fade, with the original transient. See, now today I'm more in the mood of this. I don't know. Let's see. I also try sometimes to switch the phase. Let's see how it sounds with the phase inverted. Let me also check real quick if I have calibration enabled. It's disabled. Okay, so I'll work with calibration enable. Now I'll kind of mess around with these two samples until I found a combination that sounds cool. Now here I really can't decide if it sounds better like this or this or this, you know. Maybe because the transient is too short. Let's try to make this longer, like 20 milliseconds. Let's see how it sounds with 20 milliseconds. I like, again, I'm not like other producers who just go like super fast. I like to take my time to kind of explore and have fun with these kind of precise type of things. So as you can see here, it's 20 seconds of a transient. So let's go here and I wish though I had better control. Maybe I could go with sampler, okay. And here I could make this, I could work with this curve. So it's like, you know, as 0 for 15 milliseconds. Okay, let's see if it sounds as intended. Let's see in on your oscilloscope. Okay, and now I want to make this decay only 5 milliseconds. Let's see. Maybe. Let's see if this transient is filling up that space exactly as intended. Yes, it looks like it is. And now let's put them together and see what happens. Okay, kind of a weird kick, as you can see. Let's mess around with this. So let's do a fade out of 5 milliseconds. Let's move this fade out and see how it changes. And by the way, let's disable this. By the way, now the sub, now it's kind of too short. Let's elongate the MIDI note. I can actually open this here, which is very handy. Although this section, I wish you could hide it somehow. Maybe you can fold it. Yeah, fantastic. So let's elongate this kick. All right, so now we have a nicer, longer tail. Let's remove that click by making this longer. Let me check if this click is caused by this peak being at 0. I'm not sure. Maybe it is, I'm not sure. Huh. Maybe maybe I'm overcomplicating this. But let me try again, reversing the phase, seeing how kind of how it sounds. Nah, this sounds wrong, as you can hear. This is better. Let me play around again with this fade out. Now, it's always good practice, in my opinion, to reference the samples when you're making them yourself with some like vengeance sample. For example, I have this library here I reordered, and this is my favorite sample. And let's see. Well, of course, Vengeance samples have their own their own style in a way, their own imprint. But my sample doesn't sound that bad. Let me check with the previous settings. Let me try this with phase inversion. Bad. Let's go back. Let's do this. Let's copy this and go back to this. Okay, let's resample this. Okay, and now I copied this before, so I can go back to this setting, and let's resample this as well. Now I can look at the waveform. This was the previous settings. This is a new one. And by looking at the waveform, you can also kind of see if there's any weirdness. I can press Z and zoom in like this, and Z, pressing the letter Z and zooming in, and then with the keyboard I can go back and forth and see kind of if there's any weirdness in the phases. I'm not sure here. I can't detect any weirdness right away. Let's listen. I think this first one is the one that sounded cooler, more like proper in terms of phase, while this one sounds kind of weird. Yeah. So which one was which, by the way? I kind of forgot. Let's go back here with Command Z. It was the one I recorded here. So before creating a sample, let's go back again, and should have been this kick. Just to check, let me see if it's the same kick. If I hit record again, yes, it looks like the same kick. Okay, so I would actually like to try another way to combine these two kicks, and that would be simply to use a filter. That's it. So I want to make this V1, version 1, kick V1, and then let's duplicate this and make this kick V2. Let's actually do this. Can I go to simpler? Nah, fuck. It goes into multi-sampler mode, which I hate. So let me go here, show in browser, then redrop it, basically. Okay, so now let's use a simple EQ here. Okay, an EQ here, high passing with macro, with the frequency basically of the filter mapped to the macro here, and let's copy and paste the same filter here with, instead of a high pass, using a low pass, and let's move around this frequency until we find the right relationship between the two kicks. And let's mute this first version kick. Already sounds very cool like this, honestly. I can actually do this, create a new, how do you call it, snapshot, and saving it. And I can move it around and save the snapshots I like. This is cool as well. Let's save it. Let's try this, but with inverted phase of one of the two samples. Actually, let's keep it on and kind of, again, move it around. I think it never sounds cool with phase invert on. So, man, I think this video is I will actually switch. Yes, let's do this. Let's do this video into a part 1 and the rest in part 2, because I just worked on the kick and it took me a lot of time, but that's how it is, you know. I like to take my time with this kind of stuff. Let me do the last tweaks to the kick. I think this sounds really cool. Maybe with less tail. Let's compare it to the kick V1. Let's see how this kick looks as well. Let's see in comparison with the other kick. So, in fact, I did hear that the other kick, made with just fading in and out with volume, the two samples, it had kind of a weight here in the low mids, as you can see. This section here, it's clearly louder, and you can kind of hear it in the low mids. It has more, not in a good way, it's too boxy maybe. This sounds cleaner. We should also be able to see it on span. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe let's use. Let's try with spectrum. Yeah. All right, that's the starting point. Then I can tweak it more as soon as I add sounds, and yeah, I might end up with something that doesn't sound that good, and then I will bin it, delete it, but whatever. So let's go on to part 2, where I will add snares and hi-hats.